Blessings, everyone. Today, Spirit has me outside. It's such a beautiful day, and the birds have been out. I was sitting with a little squirrel, and also I've been doing the singing bowl in the key of A for the root chakra, just to get the energy very grounded, because it's so otherworldly with the eclipse energy, and I know everybody has been going through it. I've been reading that, and also everybody's been messaging me, telling me about all of the chaos energy. And so just grounding outside with the singing bowl. And also I was guided to share a Oracle of the Fairies, or Fae, today. Just because there's that also balancing out the chaos energy. There's this energy of lightheartedness and wonderment, and spring is really starting to come to life. I'm surrounded with the spring flowers outside, and it's just glorious. And Spirit has just been nudging to stay in that centeredness. Even though the sun is coming in and out of the clouds today, those moments, the light is just absolutely extraordinary. So first, I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be this medium of light. And I ask the beautiful Fae, the childlike joy and wonderful spirit, to please step forward and help bring a message for the highest good. I am so grateful. So the first, I always shuffle in three. The first one embodies the energy of Source. The second moves the energy of spirit, or higher self. And the third moves the energy into soul, which is the beautiful expression of Source that tells the story here. And then after that, I just kind of, sometimes they'll fly out, sometimes they'll move out, and Spirit will say, that's the one. Right now I can feel all the Fae, and they are very mischievous, but the childlike energy is always, okay, they're saying, take this. Today it's 2. Nature's signs. Be receptive to the subtle messages from nature as you go about your day. Nature talks to us continually, and we need to open our hearts and minds. And this is beautiful, because this is exactly the message that I was encouraged to align with this morning when they said to come out. I was just sitting with a little squirrel, not moving my presence into his space, but just sitting and watching, allowing that energy, because all of these little creatures have messages for us. They're bringing my attention to the 2 badgers, and they're saying that this symbolizes how we're symbiotic with it, how that when we work with nature and not force ourselves into that space, even when we're grounding, that we don't have to force ourselves into that space of grounding. We don't have to always consciously sit down and become super hyper aware of the fact that we're grounding. It's more of a natural flow. It's a symbiosis. There's a correspondence in nature. Everything that's around us, Spirit is saying, the Fae are bringing through the message today that when we're sitting there gently, we draw that to us, and that helps us ground. It's not necessarily the space that we need to go into when we're out in nature, but we're drawing that energy through nature because we're part of it. There's no separation for us. And the next is divination. Embrace your powers of divination, which are especially strong right now. You have the ability to see your current situation with crystal clear clarity. And this, again, really resonates for me personally, because they have me outside. And you can see I have my little tuner here for the crystal bowls, which is not something I usually do. They have me outside sitting. I was barefoot playing the singing bowls and sitting with the birds. And they're reminding us that when we're outside and we're working in nature, that everything becomes part of this. We're the oracle. We are the oracle. We are the divination tool. We are the ones that are the median of light. I always say before I start an oracle reading that I'm grateful for Source for allowing me to be the median of light. And when we recognize that, everything around us becomes that tool. Whether we're sitting there and we notice a dandelion and we blow them, that's that childlike spirit that the Fae love. We're spreading seeds. That brings joy to all of creation because we're expressing that part of that. We don't have to necessarily go out and create the next hit record or write a best-selling novel to make an impression on creation, to be creative. All we have to do is simply draw that nature through us and become the tool, become the expression. Sitting in the grass and noticing how it feels on our skin, or when the sun comes through the clouds and you feel that moment of warm sunlight and you breathe it in. We're expressing that. We are in sacred space. We're aligned and we're resonating at the same frequency of everything that's around us. And so they're saying that this is the way through. Tomorrow's a very heavy energy. There's an eclipse going across the United States, and it's very powerful because it brings change. But the Fae and Spirit are bringing through this message more of an encouraging, comforting message for us. That as long as we stay in that space, that we don't separate ourselves so much from creation and nature, and we recognize how these things move through us and work through us, and we can ground in those moments, that none of these things are going to affect our energy centers, that we will be symbiotic with it. We'll move through it. It will be very clear. And yes, it brings change. But we have to step outside of the concept of what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, and stay very present, because in that presence, Spirit is saying, everything is clear. We don't have to have an idea of what that change is, because change flows, water flows, nature flows. There's not a lot of thought when one of these creatures sees the seed that I've put out, whether it's a squirrel or a bird or a raccoon. They're just drawn to the nourishment. They understand. Of course, they're cautious. They don't want to get hurt in any way. They make sure that there's nothing that's threatening them, but it flows. And this is what we're being taught. If we sit out, if we have that ability to sit out today and just connect with that space, it's going to be very clear. It's going to be very peaceful, and we'll move through this energy that's coming tomorrow. So remember, we're the oracles, we're the divination, we're the median of light. And listen to everything around us today. Everything has a message. It's going to tell us how to navigate this energy, whether it's a breeze in the top of the trees, or there's a little ant carrying a piece of food on the ground. Notice, listen, and allow. I thank you for allowing me to be this messenger today, and I wish everyone a beautiful experience tomorrow. Embrace this energy. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime experience for us here. It doesn't have to be negative, positive. It just is. All my love. Many blessings.